And coming up next on Daybreak, the Canadian Real Estate Association website, Realtor.ca, you might know it as MLS, won't be listing Montreal homes for sale as of January 1st. That's because the Greater Montreal Real Estate Board voted to leave the Canadian Real Estate Association this December. Montreal homes will now be listed on Centris.ca, a website unique to Quebec. So to find out what this means for you, if you're selling a home or buying a home, we have Georges Gaucher, the general manager of Royal LePage Ville-Marie in downtown Montreal. And we have Jay Deakin, who is the co-owner of Deakin Realty, which is based on Montreal West Island. They're both in studio with me now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Georges, we'll start with you. Why did the realtors in Montreal want to leave the association?
There was actually a few reasons. Principally, there were the fact that there's some duplication that were not needed. The Montreal Real Estate Board supplies all the services for realtors, and the main reason was the MLS, which is basically like the Frigidaire, if you want. The site is known as Realtor.ca, and it is not. When you look at ranking, I think it comes in at 7 or 9 when you start looking for a house.
Ranking in terms of if you are searching for a
absolutely.
home on the internet, it doesn't come up right away.
The other thing is that nobody actually goes in on their computer and goes to Realtor.ca. They look at houses for sale in Montreal, or houses for sale in NDG, or houses for sale in the West Island at Pointe-Claire. That's how you do it. And when you do, Centris will come up, probably for 1, 2, or 3 every time.
But I understand that not everybody was on board with leaving. Jay Deakin, what was your view on this?
Well, it wasn't really a decisive thing to leave it behind. Our membership, I think it was 39% of the membership voted, and there was less than 1% in favor of leaving CREA. So that wasn't really decisive. The GMREB has a lot of good points. There's a good reason that they're asking for this, or that they're going their own way. But we're also leaving behind quite a recognized trademark brand with the MLS.
So you think that people do know that and are looking directly to MLS when they're looking for homes?
Our clients are looking on both now. They're aware of Centris, but a lot of them are also on Realtor.ca. They have it bookmarked or what have you.
Is this just a visibility issue? Is there a way of mechanically, that you could have, that MLS could have been fixed so that it came up earlier in searches?
It could have been, but they never did the job right. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say, they tried to have a strategy for Google, and, I actually looked on my iPad coming here, red light, and I was not driving while doing it, and a Realtor actually comes in on the 3rd page, at the bottom of the 3rd page, while Centris was number 3. So, and again, nobody looks at Centris or Realtor unless it's tagged. They all look at, I'm looking for a condo, I'm looking for a house, and NDG.
Do you have concerns about switching over to this new site, though?
I just for the transitional period, because I think there will be some confusion, certainly to the public. We were discussing earlier, there was confusion amongst brokers who were supposed to be, informed on the issue. So, definitely worried about just the public confusion of where should we go now, what should we do. But an important point, too, is these websites are great, but people enlist the help of a broker to help them find a house. We're looking for your house for you, whether you're looking at Realtor.ca, whether you're on Centris. If you have a good broker looking for you, they're going to actually present you with the properties that might be most appropriate.
So, what difference will this make to the experience of somebody who is saying, okay, I'm selling a home on January 2nd, January 3rd? What will they notice in terms of a difference, do you think?
Well, they're already asking. Properties that we're representing right now, there's been some concern. Where's my house going to show up on the internet? Mm-hmm. So in the interim, as far as, our strategy at Deakin Realty, we decided in the interim to join one of these newly developed real estate boards to have access to CREA. So we're going to actually have dual membership. We're going to be a member of CREA and a member of the GMREB. And that means we're getting, whether there's a gap or overlap or not, the properties we have for sale will be on both.
Because this is a Quebec-specific or a Montreal-specific thing, we should say.
Quebec.
It's a Quebec-specific thing. Okay, so what difference would that make, for example, for people who are moving to Montreal from Winnipeg, from Calgary, from
It depends
Vancouver?
on your... actually, it's a great question. It depends on how they transfer. Are they transferred by their companies? If so, they deal with a transfer company, such as Brookfield Global Relocation Services, and they will appoint a realtor to take care of it. So not an issue. If they're doing it on their own, again, they will search houses for sale in Montreal. And then they will get on Centris, and they'll have access to, well, across Quebec, it's 75,000, I believe, listings that are on there. So there won't be any listings missing.
But you would worry that for international buyers, for buyers from the rest of Canada, that those homes that are on Centris will lack visibility because people won't know?
Not at all. Au contraire. I mean, right now, Centris is number 3, whereas Realtors.ca is on the bottom of the third page. So who's getting the best?
One important point, though, is the metrics. On Google, for example, depends on who you are, what language you speak, where you're sitting. So when I was preparing for the interview, I went online at home and typed in Montreal real estate. Realtor.ca still comes up first for me, for my Google metrics, for where I go online. You know, there's some algorithm somewhere that says this is what the best site for you is.
Increasingly, people are used to doing that. They're going online, and I would venture to say that a site like Du Proprio, where you have people who are selling their own homes and not going to a realtor, are taking, it appears in any case that they're taking a big chunk of the market. Are you feeling that pressure as realtors from those types of sites?
We actually see it, but what consumers have to realize is that what the information that is on Du Proprio has not been verified. As real estate brokers, we have a code of ethic where we have to verify every information that goes on that listing. And it was actually one of the issues we had with Korea. People in Quebec would take their listings, use an Ontario realtor to put that Montreal listing on without verifying anything. So there's no credibility. There's a lack of credibility, and it was one of the major issues that we had with Korea.
And so you're hoping that this visibility is going to help you for people to come to continue with the broker. Thanks very much. That's all the time we have for this morning, but thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That was Georges Gaucher, who is the general manager of Royal LePage of Ville-Marie in downtown Montreal, and Jay Deakin, the co-owner of Deakin Realty